Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Greg Olsen, and I'm the Director of the New York State Office for Aging. I'm very excited about the program today. We're going to be talking about an exciting online community that we have been partnered with for a number of years that's bringing older adults together for learning and connection. It's called GetSetUp, and stay tuned right here to learn a little bit more.
Now, live with Greg Olsen, Director of the New York State Office for the Aging.
Again, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin, I want to welcome a new member to our team. Her name is Molly Ryan, who comes to us from State University in New York at Plattsburgh. Today's her first day. There she is right there. Welcome aboard, Molly. If for some reason this production doesn't go as smoothly as we want, it is not Molly's fault. So I am really excited to have my good friend, Lawrence Kosick, president and co-founder at GetSetUp. We also have Dina, and I'll talk about Dina a little bit later, who is one of the many, many guides that you'll find on the GetSetUp platform. So GetSetUp is an online community for older adults who want to learn, that want to connect with others, want to unlock new experiences. GetSetUp offers live and recorded programming taught by individuals over 50 for individuals over 50 in their expert topic area. They provide social hours by community members, special events with speakers to directly address interests that you may have. With over 4,500 classes, you'll find something, I guarantee you. GetSetUp offers live and recorded programming taught by individuals, again, over 50 for those who are 50 and over. And thanks to the support, not only of our office and the whole team at GetSetUp, I want to thank Governor Hochul for helping us to invest in some of these really outstanding platforms that are literally changing the lives of older adults across New York State and frankly across the country. So a little bit later in the program, we'll also be joined by GetSetUp guide, but she's right here, Dina Niebert. Very excited to have her talk about her experience, because one of the things that really attracted us to GetSetUp is not only what you're seeing now, all of these incredible classes, courses, lifelong learning, health and wellness, but the fact that somebody over 50 that has a skill like Dina or an expertise in a particular area can sign up to be a guide, teach others, and make a little bit of extra money on the side. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. And I want everybody to remember that if you have any questions, you please put them in the chat and we'll feature them in the final segment of the program. So Lawrence, welcome. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure. And thank you for being a wonderful partner over these last 3+ years.
I know, it's been amazing. So Lawrence, let's kind of start at the beginning. Tell me about GetSetUp. How did it start and what does it do?
Gosh, we started the business a little over 4 years ago, actually right before the pandemic. And I think the inspiration was personal. Myself and my other two co-founders, we had, older family, friends, family, and loved ones for whom we were substandard tech support. So we struggled with how we could do a better job of helping. In my case, my father, who has a voracious appetite for technology, how could I help him learn the things that he wanted or needed to learn? And we thought, there's a platform for every other age group to socialize, learn, connect with others, but there really wasn't one for folks over 50, folks over 60. So we thought we need to build that place. And the name GetSetUp actually comes from the fact that we initially started with basic tech classes, which was help older adults learn whatever piece of technology they have, whatever smart device they have access to get into their first video class, like help them make that first move with the tablet, iPhone, laptop. And some of them were already ready to do it, but many needed a little bit of a help or some help updating an operating system or a browser, etc. But once we got them into the virtual classes, they made new friends, they discovered new topics, and they kept asking us what else they could learn. And so it all started a little over 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I really think that's critical. AARP releases a report every February on usage of older adults with tech, and there's been a long-standing myth. I'm sure Dina knows this, Lawrence, you, your whole team, Paul, Michelle, others, that older adults aren't using tech at the same rate as others. We know as of February 2024 that is no longer the case, and I see it everywhere. Both of my parents are in their 80s. They do use tech, and I want to really underscore that when you sign up for GetSetUp initially, you guys really focus in on what the tech is that somebody's using: a smartphone, a tablet, a desktop, how to use Zoom, not to really bring people into the comfort level of trying to cross that digital divide. I remember there's some companies that would create space for older adults using a different platform, which is completely further isolating them. But you guys don't do that because we all live in this mainstream society where we're using the same type of tech. So really talk about, a little bit more that you focus on that, but then it's now evolved.
So we thought it was important to start with basic tech, but some people need some help there. Some people are comfortable on the tech and they can bypass that and move right into the sort of other classes in programming. But we want to be as accessible as we can possibly be. So we constantly think about ways where we can make the platform, meaning the classes, easier to find, more accessible. When you get to the class area, it's easy to find something that you might like. So if you need some basic help around tech, or you want to learn how to cook a recipe, you want to learn how to take an exercise class, you want to learn a job skill, we want to make sure that we've now thought about how to have a little something for everybody. But it all starts with comfort around using your device, getting into the class, and then feel comfortable about how you navigate the class and how you communicate with the instructor and other learners. Getting them comfortable there really opens up a whole new universe to better learning.
Yeah, and I think, just in our partnership, which is a little over 3 years, the evolution of what you've built into the platform, your entire team's proactive approach working with me and my office and our network to build, I can't thank you enough. Can you walk through what types of classes you offer, the categories? There are so many. I mean, it doesn't matter what interest somebody has, you're going to find it here.
Yeah, I think Greg, we when we decide what kind of programming to create, we try not to create the programming that we want to create. We try to create the programming that we think older New Yorkers would be interested in and they either want or need to learn a specific topic. The way to do that is to really ask the learners, ask the community on a very regular basis, what else could we be offering? What are we missing? And so the feedback from our community has been wonderful because they suggest every day we get hundreds of suggestions around different types of classes that we could offer. And obviously we sort through those and vet through those and try to pick the ones that we think will be most interesting and most popular. And then we find a skilled guide who's an expert on that subject to teach that class. But we really source from the community to make sure that what we are producing is really interesting and relevant to older New York learners.
Yeah, that's great. So what are the top classes that New Yorkers take, and what's our typical New York learner look like?
Oh, the classes are very popular with New Yorkers. Obviously, basic tech classes are always popular, and oftentimes beyond basic tech, intermediate and advanced. So if people are looking for a job skill because they want to stay in or re-enter the workforce, those are very popular. The exercise classes, very, very popular. So people can't always get to the local community center or to the local gym, or it may be far away. So how can we help them, stay fit and exercise at home? Yoga classes, Tai Chi classes, stretching, meditation, cooking healthy recipes. Dina actually teaches one of our most popular categories, which is all things sort of arts and crafts. She's a wonderful arts instructor, and those are incredibly popular classes. But when you think beyond basic tech, what else an older adult might want to learn? It's everything.
It is.
It's everything. As my dad showed me once, he took out his mobile phone and he showed me all the apps. And they're the same apps that most of us all have on our phone. How do I use Netflix? How do I use Uber? How do I use my healthcare app? And so these are all important classes that people either want or need to learn. And it's true for New Yorkers.
I can't wait to see the spike in Dina's classes after we feature her today. It's going to be exciting. A couple things I want to really highlight, though, Lawrence, for the audience here. I was stunned that year in and year out, the top 10 classes that older New Yorkers take are all health and wellness, hydration, nutrition, yoga, exercise, where I would think it would be things like, cooking, photography, whatever it might be. And you have access to all of those things, but I think that's really positive. And two things that you guys have really focused on last couple of years that's really important to us is reskilling, retraining, building the skill sets of older workers with over 90 different courses and classes that you guys offer, as well as classes and courses on how to protect yourself from financial fraud and scams. So it's really, really important stuff to us. Are your classes available in other languages besides English?
They are indeed. We have a good selection of Spanish, Mandarin, Hindi. Those are the main ones. There's probably a few others that I can't recall, but we do think access is very important, and we obviously have people who speak a number of languages and want to learn in those languages, and so it's a priority for us to continue to offer more languages and create easier access. So while we offer a lot of class content in I think 4 or 5 languages now, definitely the goal is to grow that.
Yeah, that's great. What kind of new things, and we don't want to talk yet about GetSetUp set up anywhere. I'll get to that in a second. What kind of new things are in the pipeline?
Oh gosh, we try to really think about content being timely and relevant. So there's certain types of classes that you can take all day, every day, any time of the year. For example, exercise classes. And then there's really sort of time specific. So for example, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. So, we'll do more classes around sort of brain health, for example. Elder abuse awareness. Those are very, very important classes. And so during the certain times of year, we'll make sure that we're producing timely classes that sort of correspond to a condition or to an awareness campaign. Like classes for Pride Month, for example, those are going to be, those are big and popular. We've recently produced some classes on sepsis, right? So that's an important thing for many of our older adults to know and think about. So we make sure that we're producing sort of interesting, timely content that's also relevant to the time of year or the things an older adult might be thinking through in January versus June versus December.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because the time that we are on air today, 40 people will die of sepsis. So I appreciate you working with us on that. June is Pride Month. It's also World Elder Abuse Month as well. So I love that. With all of this content, this has got to be expensive for the New York consumer, right?
Well, thanks to our partnership with you and the state of New York, the classes are free to the older adults of New York State. So we're proud to be able to partner with you to do that. Obviously, New York State helps subsidize the cost of the classes so that we can continue to do the good work we do. But you provide a wonderful service that is free to the older adults of New York. So,
Dina, did I hear Lawrence correctly that this is free for any older adult in New York over 50?
You absolutely did.
That's crazy. Now, Dina, how do you become a guide on GetSetUp like you did?
Well, I think a lot of things that I talk about nowadays starts pre-pandemic, after pandemic. So the pandemic hits, I teach art, in person, and everything changes. Specifically, I was teaching art to adults with special needs, and I was looking for things, and Indeed, GetSetUp popped up, and I thought, wow, I've never heard of this platform. What an empowering platform for people my age and older, and I'm going to give it a shot. And I sent in all my information, and I got a job, and I absolutely have fallen in love with this platform.
I think it's fantastic. We'll come back to you in a minute, Dina. Lawrence, talk to us about this opportunity that you provided to not only our network, but any not-for-profits, libraries, et cetera, called Get Set Up Anywhere.
So Get Set Up Anywhere is really an additional offering that makes it even easier for older adults to access these classes, right? So we obviously have virtual classes, and we've been showing the catalog, throughout this webcast. They're hosted on Get Set Up, and they're for older adult New Yorkers. But we started to think, well, what else could we do to make these classes more accessible? Well, people go to their library websites. They go to the area agencies for aging websites. They go to other, senior care organization websites. What if we made the classes available in those places as well? They'd still be the same Get Set Up classes, but they could just live on those partner websites, making it even easier for an older adult who's already there to hop right into a class. And so that is really what Get Set Up Anywhere is. It's taking what we already do with the state of New York and just making the classes more available in more places across more organizations for easier access for older New Yorkers.
It's fantastic. And like I said, the proactive nature of you and your team, we're just thrilled to work with you. We're going to take a short break, but NYSOFA and Get Set Up recently partnered with PBS stations to feature some of the amazing people like Dina who make Get Set Up possible. The guides who lead these classes and the learners who live, whose lives are enriched by them. So why don't you take a look at this, and we'll be right back.
My name is Omi. I'm a teaching artist. When people say, oh, I'm not creative, I can't do it, I show you that you can. I live alone. During the pandemic, my grandson had an accident, left him paralyzed. I was just feeling numb. But all of a sudden, there was Get Set Up in my face.
I am going to do this live right now.
It was exactly what I needed. A creative therapy session.
Now look at this.
Omi, it is so beautiful, and it was so relaxing.
I love doing this.
Get Set Up saved my life, and I just wanted people to try it.
I love that, and I love it for a variety of ways. At the New York State Office for Aging, we don't talk about aging ever without first starting to talk about the value of what older adults in New York State bring to their families, to their communities, to the economy, and having people like Dina and Omi and others who are lending their talents to be able to interact with and make other people, feel good and healthier and well and connected. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, Dina, you told us a little bit about how you became a guide. Talk a little bit about the classes that you teach on Get Set Up.
I teach a variety of classes, our most popular being watercolor classes, arts and crafts. We kind of talked about that, colored pencils, kind of all the traditional things that you might think of with art. But some of my favorite to teach are, we do an art history class where we learn about an artist, and then we do art inspired by that artist. We do Zentangles, we do neurographic art. We focus a lot on wellness and art and how they pair together so well.
Absolutely. What do you enjoy most about being the guide, right? So you kind of did this. You saw the ad, intrigued by it. You're an infectious personality. Your smile. But what do you enjoy most about it?
I absolutely love my learners. They have given me life, things that I never thought that I needed in my life. Going and being an artist. Yes, I'm in one medium. I practice that all the time. but their need, their desire, their passion to learn art has given me this opportunity to take more classes myself. And so it's purely about them. I have fallen in love with them.
It's amazing. Now, before you joined GetSetUp, you would teach these classes, and now you're GetSetUp, and it's different group of individuals probably. Anything different stand out between the old art classes, and maybe you're still doing those, versus those that you're providing on GetSetUp?
Yeah, and I go back to the learners. I had this really strong relationship with my grandmother growing up. She was my rock. She taught me how to have a voice. And as I aged, the thing that always made me sad was to look and see how, as we aged, we didn't look at age as being this strong quality in people. And being on this platform specifically with these learners has had me realize what an important role we play in giving them a voice, and they give me a voice right back.
I love your story, because I had the same relationship with my grandmother, which got me into the work that I have been doing now for 33 years. And you're spot on. Can you imagine any of us that have these amazing life experiences, work experiences, hobbies, things that we can offer, where one day, based on how we might look or how we walk, that all of that is kind of pushed aside, like it doesn't matter. And it's really, really troubling. So I thank you for that. From your perspective as an artist,
yes,
I mean, what have you seen? Because I know you've seen it, in terms of the actual impact on connection and wellness.
I'm going to start with this phrase, and this is what I try to say in all of my classes. Every single one of you are an artist. You may not think you're an artist. Somewhere along the way, either someone told you you weren't an artist or life got in the way. You are a creative soul, and we are going to find that creativity. And so when they realize it, when they say to me, I am an artist, I know that I have done my job, and it's absolutely wonderful.
I think that's great. For somebody who may be thinking, hey, I want to be the next Dina in the skill set that I have, what advice would you give somebody interested in becoming a guide, outside of don't be afraid to take the risk?
Because that would be my number one, is just to go for it. My first half of my life I spent as a public educator. And at some point I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I found GetSetUp, and I realized that I have skills to offer to this world. And I would say to you, so do you, whether it be, maybe it's music or creative writing, maybe it's something to do with money or math, because I have no math skills at all. And I need those classes. So look for that within your community, online platforms like GetSetUp, and just don't hesitate. Know that you have something to offer this world.
I think that's outstanding advice. So we've got Lawrence, co-founder, kind of big picture. We've got Dina, who's one of the guides. Now let's hear from one of the learners and what they have to say about the value of GetSetUp to them.
My name is Linda, and I just love connecting with people. Raising a family is the thing that I'm the most proud of and the most happy about. When my daughter left the house, I was just extremely sad. Didn't really know what I was going to do with the silence that was around me. GetSetUp was kind of a dream come true. Yoga classes, health and wellness, travel. I was able to be transported to Australia, Africa, Europe, all the things I love.
I love that. And for folks out there who are either listening live or will be in the future, you have to check this out. There's so many things that, regardless of who you are, where you live, what your experiences are, there's going to be something more than just one thing here for you. Before we get to Q&A, I'll ask you each an open-ended question. And if you don't have anything else to add, that's fine. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to say, or anything particular we talked about that you want to reiterate? Why don't I start with you, Lawrence?
I think I would just love to underscore the fact that we are producing classes for the 50 plus audience, but it's being delivered by the 50 plus guides and teachers, folks like us, folks like you and me. And we think that is a really interesting way to do it, because a lot of time we have a fear and hesitation around learning something new, particularly when it might be being delivered in a way that's maybe not our vocabulary, not at our speed. It's not necessarily comfortable for us. I would invite everybody to give GetSetUp a try, because it's comfortable. It's a safe place where there is no dumb questions. We're all in this together, and we're older adults, powered by, working for, and learning from older adults. So thanks very much for helping us spread the word.
And Lawrence, that's such a key point. Having peers teach peers. We have a lot of in-person programs and others where, you might have a high school or a younger individual teaching, older adults how to use technology. And I appreciate everybody that is involved in that, especially the intergenerational angle. But I even think about, my kids who are younger, and there's a huge difference between them whipping through, me asking them a question and seeing the frustration of me not getting it, versus working with somebody who's my age that, can smooth it out a little bit. So I really underscore your point. Dina, anything?
I would just say, if you're thinking about taking some art classes, GetSetUp is the platform to do it. We have so many different classes in art, but also in other things too. So come and visit us. We'd love to have you.
Well, we're going to specifically measure the demand for your classes in the coming weeks. Why don't we get to some questions? How do I sign up for GetSetUp?
I'll take that one. I think you come and visit the website, whatever device you have. It doesn't matter if it's a tablet, your iPad, your iPhone, your laptop. Visit www.getsetup.io/NY State, New York State, as you see on the screen here. And you'll hop right into a wonderful assortment of classes, and you'll be good to go.
All right, I'm going to jump into one that came externally. Sorry, Alex, I'm mixing it up. Awesome job. How are you distributing the classes? We know it's through the platform. How can we help get the word out? And that is really something I really want to focus on here, because we have 4.84 million people over the age of 60. And between 45 and 59, another 3.7. So the 50 plus population is going to be in the almost 6 million range. And there's no reason we shouldn't have a mass quantity. We've got good numbers, but we can do way better. So how can we help get the word out? You two, and then I'll answer that as well.
Oh, yes. We welcome anybody who can help us spread the word. So if you have an older friend, family, loved one, or you yourself would love to give this a try, come and visit, share the URL, the name, and your friends and family and loved ones will be welcome to come and join and take any of our classes. If you spend any time on, say, for example, Facebook or any other social media channels, please feel free to mention it and share the link. But I think that helping us spread the word, whether it be to your neighbor next door or on your social media network, or at your next gathering, friends, family, relatives, we'd love to have you. Help us spread the word.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. So as individuals, many people are using social media. You're part of organizations, whether they be aging or not. It could be a church, community-based organization. They have newsletters. They have gatherings. Lawrence, how would somebody work with you in New York to get the code where they can put this right on their websites directly? You're muted. Hang on a second.
Sure. The easiest way would be just to contact us. So there's obviously an 800 number on the website. There's lots of contact us links. People can contact me directly. I'm Lawrence at GetSetUp.io. We're very welcoming to anybody who can help us spread the word or make these classes more available.
Great. Thanks. So any organizations that are out there, you can have this literally pasted on the front page of your website to, allow anybody in your community that regularly uses your site to have access to these classes, all free of charge. What classes do you feel are the most important for older adults to take on GetSetUp? That's a loaded question. Well, Dina, let's start with you. Your opinion. What are the most important classes? They're probably art classes.
Yeah, my art classes first, but that's because I'm a little bit biased. But we do a lot of classes where we talk about your mental health. There's so much scientific research out there about wellness, brain wellness, mental health, and art. Also, they're doing a lot of scientific studies even on physical health and how art can help you with that as well. So that would be my number one. But I will tell you that as a guide, I've taken the cooking classes, I've taken some of the yoga classes myself, and they're really fantastic.
So do you bring any of the things that you made from your cooking classes to your art classes?
Absolutely not. I am not a cook. I can paint a beautiful picture of something that I would make, but if I brought it to you, you wouldn't eat it. Let's just say that. But the guides do wonderfully.
So, Lawrence, what about people that might have mobility issues? Do you have modified fitness classes for individuals that might have some mobility limitations?
We do indeed. We do indeed. We have exercise classes where sometimes you're doing them, from a seated position, or sometimes there's some thought to, folks may have some motion restriction or arthritis, for example. So we try to think about sort of the different things people might be grappling with, but still trying to help them stay active. And I think that's really important and to the last question, I just want to chime in because I think Dina did a really nice job, but what class should you start with? Anything that gets you started. Anything that gets you started. And if you're not sure where to start, we have a GetSetUp overview session and an introduction to the website where it's basically a guided tour that shows you a little bit of everything. And then whatever piques your interest, you should be good to go. And if that's an exercise class, and if you have a mobility issue, we'll show you where those are. We'll get you right into those classes. If it's basic tech, we'll get you there. And then if it's arts and crafts, we'll get you there.
Yeah, and with the library you have, as well as all the live classes, that's a really hard question because, I like the recommendation of going through actually what you have on there, because there are things where it'd be like, hey, I didn't even think I might be interested in that, but I am. So check it out. Check out the entire site. You never know. I mean, it's never too late to pick up a new interest or hobby or something that you've always been interested in. What makes GetSetUp classes different from classes at my local community center?
Well, sometimes you can't get to your local community center. Maybe it's far away. Maybe the time doesn't work. Maybe you have a mobility issue. We just want to be the complementary service, meaning allowing you to access these classes from the comfort of your home. If you can't get to the community center, or if the community center is maybe not offering sort of some of the classes that you're interested in, come to us and we can help you from the comfort of your own home access everything virtually. I think your community center probably offers some wonderful classes. Take advantage of those if you really enjoy them. But I think you'll find that we're a wonderful complement to those when you can't get down there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go a little step further. Community centers are fantastic for offering the program, but they're not going to have 4,500 plus classes. So here's what I would recommend as a value added for the community center is add the link to internal, and you can have access not only to the live programming that they're providing, but to the entire live library and recorded library. You do them both.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Do we have any more questions from the audience? We have a lot of positive comments of people that are using it, so keep using it, spread the word. Lawrence, your staff, Michelle, is talking about all the different types of mobility and balance for people with mobility issues classes that you have, so you can check those out. I'm sorry, I missed this one. Thank you. You are welcome. Get the word out for us. Anybody else? Any other questions? Thanks for creating these classes. Oh, that's not us. It's this fantastic team at GetSetUp. And do we have any more? All right. So we are going to close this episode. A couple of things we really want to highlight. Dina, how much does it cost for older adults who are 50 years or older to access the GetSetUp platform?
In New York State, it's absolutely free. And if you've ever taken an art class, you are saving a ton of money.
Absolutely. And if somebody has a skill, Dina, that they want to share with people but don't know where to go, where would you tell them to go?
Come to GetSetUp. Look at it. There's information there about how to become a guide or how to lead a community session. It's easy to follow. I love the platform because you can just maneuver your way through it really easily. And we'd love to have you.
Awesome. And in all seriousness, Lawrence, your entire team, Paul, Michelle, and everybody, we cannot thank you enough. It's going to be a long-standing, hopefully growing partnership. So I thank you. It's been spectacular. Join us our next time. We are going to have a fitness instructor, strength training, overall health and wellness that specializes specifically in older adult fitness. And as always, I want to thank Lawrence, want to thank Dina, but I have to thank our communication staff, which is Roger, Darren, we've got Molly, and Molly, thanks. I think your presence here made this run quite smooth. And I really have to thank Alex, who makes this production possible. So thanks for joining us again on this episode. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
I love GetSetUp because it gives me a chance, and everyone who is in the classes and interest group, a chance to connect with other people.
I recommend GSU to older people because they will help you have a better, more fun, and more knowledgeable life, and therefore a better lifestyle. And they will give you community on top of that.
GetSetUp has made a huge difference in the past 3 months since I found it, because it's given me a very fun life that I wasn't having before, because to be able to log in and take classes in all types of topics, meet people from all over the country, some cases from different parts of the world, it's just been a saving grace to me.
It's a challenge. It's an opportunity to get to see other people, to meet other people, to further my education, my knowledge. I mean, every day it's wonderful to learn something new. And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Live with Greg is a production of the New York State Office for the Aging Communications Bureau.